Break and continue are two keywords of the C language that are used in conjunction with loops. They both are used to help control the flow of the loop. Let me show you what I mean. Firstly, I'll show you a break. Here's a bit of code. It's just a loop. It's a while loop, although it could just as easily be a for loop. Break will work with while loops, for loops, and do while loops. In fact, it will work with all types of C loops. Mind you, continue will also work with all types of C loops. Okay, so the code fragment I have on the screen at the top is quite straightforward. While condition 1. Move on, execute some statements. Assuming that condition 1 is true, we're going to execute the first block of statements. Now we come across condition number 2. Condition number 2, if that is true, then we execute the break statement. What does the break statement do? Well, it breaks out of the loop. It's as simple as that. It just breaks out of the loop. The loop ends at that point. So the control flow is passed to the statements after the end of the loop, not that second set of statements. Those second set of statements that you can see on the screen, they do not get executed if the break runs. If the break occurs, it jumps to the close curly bracket and then continues on after the loop. So it's a good way of avoiding some statements if you need to avoid them. Mind you, it also breaks you out of the loop, so you never get a chance to run those statements again. Okay, it's very, very simple. If you get to that break, it immediately jumps out of the loop and ends the loop at that point. The loop is aborted. It's like an abort loop. Don't go anymore. No more statements, no more anything. Okay. Now, continue is similar. Let's have a look at continue. Again, we've got a condition 1, we've got some statements, and we have a condition 2. Now, if condition 2 is met, in other words, if condition 2 is true, then we run the continue statement. And if the continue statement runs, we go back up to the top of the loop and start the next loop again. We start the next loop again. So we continue on. We don't execute those statements. That second set of statements, they don't get executed. At least they don't get executed this time through the loop. We go around the loop again, and they might get executed next time, but only if condition number 2 is false. Because if condition number 2 is false, then we don't execute the continue, so we continue on and hit the second set of statements. I hope that makes sense. Break and continue. I'm not going to show you any code samples of break and continue. I'm going to leave those as exercises for you at the end of the chapter. I'm going to leave an exercise that will show you, or at least ask you, a question that only break and continue can solve. Okay, that's all on break and continue. They are very, very